Welcome back to the Sage Skills Lab, where we turn insight into action. Every video here gives you one science-backed insight, a skill you can start using today, and one key takeaway that'll make you a sharper, stronger leader. So buckle up, because today we're discussing leadership skills that are already written into your personality that most leaders never find and that AI can't touch. So here's the leadership conversation that no one is having right now. Well, actually, almost no one. But everyone's talking about AI, what it can do, what it's replacing, how fast it's moving. And yes, AI is extraordinary. It processes data at speed, doesn't get tired, and doesn't have a bad day. So what else is there? Well, AI doesn't have human perception, a personality. It can't read the tension in the room before anyone has said or prompted a word. And it can't trust or earn trust through a difficult conversation. It can't choose to show up differently, but you can. And today, we want to use 70 years of psychology to show you how tapping into 2 leadership skills based on who you are can actually help you become a better leader. And before we get into these skills, let's just establish something, because if you've never heard of the Big Five, this is going to change how you see yourself as a leader. The Big Five is the most scientifically validated personality framework in the world. It's not a quiz you find on the back of a magazine. It's been built and tested over 70 years across various cultures and across the range of countries in the world. It measures 5 core dimensions of human personality, and most importantly, none of them are inherently good or bad. They're just simply who you are. Our 5-step profile is built on this foundation because it's the most powerful leadership data, and because leadership data isn't about the market or the competition. It's about the person leading the team. Today we're going to focus on 2 of those 5 dimensions, and they're the ones that actually matter quite a bit right now. So first, I'll explain them. Then I'll actually go deep into how one of them is actually built. Now, the first skill is interpersonal sensing, your ability to pick up on what's happening in the room before it becomes a problem. And your report describes a trait called emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity measures how strongly you feel and respond to what's going on around you, the kind of negative vibe in the room, or how much of that vibe is there. Score high and you're tuned into the mood of the room. You notice when someone goes quiet. You also can sense when trust is starting to slip before anyone has said a thing. And that sensitivity can feel uncomfortable, but it's also one of the rarest and the most valuable skills a leader can have. Score low and you stay calm under pressure. While your composure can be a superpower, the trade-off is that you may miss what others are going through. And the signals are already there. You're just not necessarily hardwired to pick them up. And it may cause you to miss out on what other people are going through. Now, all this matters because AI is perfectly calm and completely blind to how people are feeling, unless it's prompted. It can't sense that your team is quietly worried about their jobs. It doesn't notice when someone's gone silent, and it doesn't pick up on the small signals that you see when it tells you that trust is starting to slip. That's not a soft skill. That's a critical skill, and it's a human skill, one that is most important, and it's one of the most important competitive advantages you as a leader actually have. So whatever your score on emotional reactivity, you can openly observe. You can seek out behaviors you know are important for high performance, and you can say what you see. You don't have to fix whatever your score is, and you don't have to judge it. In fact, it's even more powerful when you don't. Just name it. For example, I noticed we moved through that pretty fast. Is everyone comfortable with where we landed? That simple question gives you all the insight, but it opens up your team to actually help them feel psychologically safe. Asking that one question will help you prompt colleagues to recognize their own hardwiring, the emotions that can short-circuit great team performance. Or let's take that trait, agreeableness. Agreeable people can be fantastic for team harmony. They love harmony, hate conflict. But when you introduce AI, that can actually trigger a psychological blind spot called automation bias. An automation bias is where people blindly trust the machine because it seems safer, less controversial, than questioning it. Imagine a highly agreeable leader. They see a team member blindly accepting a flawed AI output just to hit a deadline, or maybe someone else who isn't engaging with a new AI tool. A less agreeable leader would flag it instantly, but the highly agreeable leader, well, that person doesn't necessarily want to rock the boat, question the tech, or even create friction within the team. Those are all high risk to them. So what do? They choose silence or put off the conversation. Perfectly understandable, but not necessarily best for the team or for their own leadership style. So let's stay here on this one for a moment because it's a skill that many leaders find very difficult and the one that makes the biggest difference. This pattern can show up again and again where someone on the team isn't necessarily pulling their weight, or they aren't trying to make the change or embracing the tool that we want everyone to use. You can see it, but saying something feels risky. Maybe it will hurt the relationship. What if they take it personally? Sometimes it's just hard to find the words to help someone understand how you're trying to help them. So nothing gets said. You pick up the extra work, or someone on the team does, and the problem carries on. That's not necessarily kindness, nor is it making the situation any better. That's actually avoidance, and it costs you far more than the conversation ever would. So how can you make the shift? Well, you can use these 3 steps to actually get a little bit better at this. Step 1, notice when you're holding back. Most people know the moment. There's a beat when you could say something but you don't. That's actually where you start. Just feel it. Step 2, lead with what you've seen, not with what you think. Avoid that assumption. Let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean. You're not engaging with this is a judgment. But I've noticed you haven't seen the tool yet, or you've not used the tool yet. What's getting in the way? That's a question. And one shuts people down, the other one opens things up. Same issue, very different conversation. Step 3, prepare before the conversation. Now, even if you don't need this, it's still important to do. Because if you know the conversation is going to be uncomfortable, sometimes those emotions get in the way, depending upon your personality profile. Think about what you want to say. Write it down. Know the first sentence that you're going to say before you even say a word. That's not a weakness. It's not you needing to prepare because you're not a great leader. It's actually you preparing because you're committed to the outcome and you're committed to the relationship with that person you're talking to. The goal isn't to become someone who enjoys difficult conversations. In fact, most people never do. I know I don't. The goal is to become someone who has them anyway, because you know the cost of not having them. So here's what I'd like you to do before your next meeting. Think about one conversation that you've been putting off. You know the one, the team member who isn't stepping up, the dynamic that everyone can feel, but nobody is naming. The feedback you keep meaning to give, but you just simply haven't found the time. Use step 2. Write down one observation, not a judgment, not an assumption, but an observation. What have you actually seen? Then write down the one question that opens that up for a conversation. That's your homework. One observation, one question, one conversation. And this is why your personality is your best operating system. Whatever it is, wherever you're starting from, in a world where AI handles tasks, leaders who thrive are the ones who are human and who work with humans. And that starts with saying the things that need to be said. And this is why your personality is the best operating system for your leading through the AI era. Whatever it is, wherever you're starting from, in a world where AI handles tasks, leaders who thrive are the ones who are human and who work with humans. And that starts with saying the things that actually need to be said and that people want to feel they're working with you on. The AI era won't reward the leaders who know the technology best. It'll reward the leaders who know themselves the best and those who turn that self-knowledge into better behavior day to day under pressure. Your personality isn't a verdict, it's a starting point. It's a springboard into the best you can be. 2 traits, 1 skill, you even better. That's the Sage Skills Lab. If you want to see exactly where you sit on emotional reactivity or agreeableness, or the other 3 big 5 dimensions with practical guidance on what that means for you and how to lead better, head to TalentSage.com, where we can show you the 5-step personality profile and the 360 feedback and how those reports give you and your team the data to stop guessing and start performing even better. Thanks for being here. Hit subscribe and tell me in the comments which of these 2 skills you find the easiest or maybe the most difficult. I read every response. I'll actually make sure that I get back to you too. See you next week for the other side of the coin, which is how to lead your new AI team members too. Ta-ta for now.